We have with us here the highest placed Indian in the tournament, GM RR Laxman. Laxman, you played a fantastic tournament. You beat Siva Mahadevan with a brilliant attacking game. Then you beat Stupak Kirill today. Between that, you beat Mikhiel Mchedlishvili. So you were in great form. Of course, the 10th standing is because of your tie break. What do you personally feel about this event?
This event is an annual event being organized. I'm a regular player of this event, and there were very few occasions when I missed this event. I started the event on a low ebb with a draw with against a 1835 player, but he played quite well, and my confidence level was on a low ebb. But to regain my confidence, I had to win 2 consecutive games. And after that, I was paired with good players. It was a series of good players, and I gained form. And this tournament went on well for the last 3 rounds. It went on exceptionally good, much above my expectations in the last 3 rounds. Otherwise, also, I'm generally on a high ebb of confidence, excepting for the last round. I'm representing Railways, in particular Integral Coach Factory, which has gone a long way in supporting my chess career, and my employers and officers will be very happy to hear this performance of mine.
And so in the last round, when you were playing against a strong Belarusian GM Stupak Kirill, what was going through your mind? You had the black pieces. Maybe you can show us through the game and tell us what was happening.
Actually, he opened with the d4, nf6. I retorted with nf6, nf3, e6, c4, d5. D5. He expected me to play d5, and because I had repeated this move with Grandmaster Maxim Turov a couple of rounds earlier, and I had faced disastrous result, not able to maintain equality in the opening. So I thought, when you have a disastrous result in one particular opening in a round played in that tournament, it's better not to repeat it. So I am wide opening repertoire in this particular variation. So I just retorted with the Queen's Indian defense, and this was a kind of surprise for him, because not many games available in the database featuring me playing the Queen's Indian defense. So he just played g3. I retorted with bishop a6. Mm-hmm. He had a new move, queen b3. It's not exactly new. It has been played on different occasions.
Yeah.
I had my own preparation with nc6. Like, there are 2 moves with bishop d2. Bishop d2, you just play knight e4, something like that, aiming to grab the double bishop advantage. But he played knight b d2.
Yeah.
All part of the opening theory. This is a good line for black. Knight a5, queen c3, c5, still part of my preparation. And he played dc5, bc5, and from what I can presume by looking at his face, he was not very familiar with this particular opening setup. So I felt a lot more confident on seeing his face. Probably he didn't essay the opening moves in a fast manner. So that gives me confidence.
How much importance do you give to these facial expressions?
I give some amount of importance, because if my opponent is essaying all the moves fast in the opening, there will be a sudden drop in my confidence level.
Sure.
If he thinks after some 7-8 moves, then I feel glorious.
Right.
It's a positive sign for me. I don't know how long this works, but it gives me a positive feeling. Okay. If my opponent thinks.
Right. So in this position now, he played. You took on c5. I took
with the pawn. I have to take with the pawn. Bishop c5, b4.
He continued
with bishop g2, for which I just had to grab the diagonal, because this diagonal was weak. Castle. Now I have to play knight c6, because I realized if I play bishop e7, he'll play e4 directly. I cannot take because of the threat on g7. For which, if I defend this, now white has a lasting advantage with a3 and b4.
Okay.
So I had no other choice but to return with the knight. Now the difference is, if he plays e4, I am ready for d6. and if a3, I am ready to control the b4 threat
Okay.
with a5.
Yeah.
This so that's the difference. So when I played knight c6, he realized that he has to embark on another plan, some different plan, because e4, if he plays e4, I just play d6, and I saw e5. After d5 ne5, I need not struggle with the pin. I have a knight sortie on d4, threatening the fork check on e2, and then I will exchange my light square bishop, and with my knight having a stronghold on d4, I prefer black's position. So he realized this, and he avoided this e4 idea, and he started with b3. I pondered over quite some time, and just played bishop e7, bishop b2, castle. Then he played this rook a d1, d6. Now I can clearly see that he was not very familiar with this position. He played queen c1. Now I had to regroup, queen c7. Then he played rook fe1.
In such a position.
Sorry, he played knight b1 to come knight c3, and probably when I play e5, he wants to occupy this.
In such a position, how do you plan yourself? Because you see, you have developed almost all your pieces. You have to put your rooks. The open files are on b8, but the other rook you don't know. It could be useful on d8, e8. So how do you think in such positions? Many players have problems here to make a plan in such a position after the opening.
In this particular position, it's not easy to fabricate. It's not difficult to fabricate a plan, because in Nimzo Indian, it's common knowledge that you put your d1 f rook on d8 and a rook on c8. It's very simple plan. And for knight b1, I had no other second thoughts about putting my f rook on d8, because this when this rook comes to c8, I plan my d5, d4, all the stuff. For knight c3, he played knight c3. I played rook a c8. Now he played queen f4. Until this moment, white has played quite precisely, and probably he's threatening knight b5 and taking on f6 and taking on d6. So I had to prevent that. I played a6. Now he played some rook fe1. Oh, sorry. I played knight h5 for this. Queen e3 and knight f6. I wanted to see what his idea was, like tempting him to repeat the moves. Actually, I wanted to play for a win. I had no intention of draw in hand. I just wanted to see my chance.
But repeating the position also makes him feel that maybe you want to draw. Put some kind of a
pressure, some kind of an unpleasant feeling on the opponent's head. Actually, I didn't want a repetition, but I just wanted to make the situation unfamiliar to him, so that he will be thinking that I would like to repeat, and he will come up with an inferior move. Because if he does this, I'm going to repeat according to him. So my guess proved right, and he came with the inferior move, h3, to avoid the repetition. Probably he wanted to play g4 and not commit his queen on f4 anymore. I played a6. Now I do not know what made Stupak play g4. He was quite oblivious of the impending danger on the center. After d5, I feel that black is clearly better. I do not know. He was quite oblivious of the impending danger, but it was quite obvious also.
I think you stayed true to this thing where a flank attack must be attacked with a center.
A flank attack must be counterbalanced with a strike in the center.
Yeah.
So d5, I played it immediately, because I was sure that g5, d4, and if he takes also g5, d4.
Sure.
Black is clearly better. I was quite surprised how Stupak allowed this. It was quite obvious also, and he just took this, ed5. Now this queen is very misplaced on e3. I wasn't clear what the queen was doing on e3, and as it is, it's very clear that I'm threatening d4, and after some time bishop d6. So actually he had to go back. Now I had no confusion whatsoever. I retorted with d4, and there was a kind of a pawn avalanche on the center. So that was making life very uncomfortable for white. The b2 bishop has been blunted out of the game, and the g2 bishop is also not so active it's a silent spectator. So he has to go here. Now again I have no confusion, no second thoughts. I have to play this.
With a tempo.
Yes,
on the
of course,
A2
A2.
pawn.
A3 is forced. Then knight jumps to greener pastures, eyeing F4. So obviously he cannot allow my knight to sit on F4. That would be a disaster for him. He has to play E3. Then I just played bishop D6. My idea was that I had a trick up my sleeve.
Yes. Let's not reveal it. I think we should ask the viewers to find it.
I had a very nasty trick up my sleeve. Like it is not so obvious to see.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult. I had a very nasty trick up
Well,
my
if a
sleeve.
2580 GM falls for it, it has to be tough to see it.
I mean, it's okay. If you fall for it, you're like it's very unpleasant feeling for white.
Right.
And he played knight h4.
Yeah. Maybe we can ask the viewers here who are
No,
watching.
no. Once the position has occurred over the board, it's easy. But before seeing it in advance about 7-8 moves
But
earlier
I
was
also
difficult.
feel that even with the position erosion, it's not easy to find. So
Okay.
maybe the viewers back home can pause the video here and try to find what Laxman played. And if anyone here can tell what black played in this position,
I think they'll come up with it.
they'll come up.
They'll come up with it. They're all playing chess for professionally at least.
Yeah,
And it is difficult to see this 8 moves earlier, not now.
for sure. Yeah, agreed. Anyone? See, it's not easy.
No, I'm sure they will come up with it. They are professionals.
Yes? Bishop F4, yeah, very nice.
And they've already watched the live transmission. They've already watched the live transmission. Bishop F4. This was.
You must have felt good making this move.
I was feeling good. At a moment, I was perturbed. If this doesn't work and it boomerangs, I'll be at the receiving end. After I have created an attack, and I'll be at the receiving end. If this doesn't work out well, he took it. He has to take it. Otherwise, E3 will. So he cannot even play rook f1 because now I will take and bishop g3, threatening nh4 and rook e1.
Sure.
But okay, I told you they will guess it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, but
They are. It's not difficult to guess it now. You have to see.
but to see.
But they are also professionals. They know
you
some.
saw this when you played.
Yes,
knight
I saw
b4.
it. Yeah. I
Knight
saw it
b4.
even before that.
Even before that. Wow, that's amazing.
Maybe even before that, it's a bit of extra. I'm exaggerating. Maybe after knight b4, I was quite aware of. Not exactly seen this move, but I was. My intuition told me that something of this will happen.
Sure. So how he took your bishop on f4?
He has to take because nf5 loses to g6. Then knight has nowhere to go, and if he takes this, I'll take his knight, and f4 pawn falls by automatically.
Okay.
So he has to take it. Now, the strange as it might seem, if he cannot take this bishop, the problem is I'll give check, king g2, and I'll not take the queen. I'll take the bishop with check and then take the queen.
Nice.
So obviously bishop into b7 is out of the question. Bishop f3, nothing works. I am threatening a fork on e2. And rook f1 also doesn't seem right because I will take his bishop with my bishop. Once he takes this, I will grab the h3 pawn. I have already captured the f4 pawn. I am going to capture the h3 pawn. Next I am going to capture the g4 pawn with my f6 knight.
Lot of compensation.
Lot of compensation. I think after when he plays f4, this rook sortie will finish the game.
Yeah.
Off.
And also these two pieces on the queen side are completely out of the game.
This I like this game because it resembles the game which I played with Puya Idani of Iran recently in the Sharjah Masters.
Okay.
This knight a4 being out of play, knight on the rim looks dim.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was very useful for me to carry out attack on the king side with opponent's pieces on the rim.
Right. So he has to
sacrifice. Practically speaking, he cannot defend the e2 square, and there's no other way out than to sacrifice his queen.
Sure.
Now I have to take it. Bishop d. This was his best practical chance. Now I played this. Yeah.
Were you confident here, or you felt that there's still
I was
some play?
very sure of winning at this
were
moment.
sure,
Very
okay.
sure. Because he had 3 minor pieces for the queen, and I'm a pawn up.
Yeah.
I'm a pawn up, and his king side is compromised.
Sure.
His king side pawn structure is very weak and highly compromised. So he has to bring his bishop here. No other good alternative. I have to play queen d6, for which nf5 followed. Now I had seen this in advance, queen e6. Now this bishop is under attack, b3 pawn is under attack. I'm sure, even if without precise calculations, you can be sure that black is
Sure.
on the verge of victory. He has to play bishop f4. I'm sorry, he has to return with his bishop. Now I have captured the b3 pawn. You don't have to calculate all this further. You can be sure that after bishop f4, rook c8, because this rook cannot go here, because knight comes and grabs the c5 pawn. Rook cannot go to anywhere in the horizontal. It has to go here. So knight e7 check, king h8, knight into c8. Now it's a tricky position. I have to capture this rook c8 because I'll be getting the a4 knight anyway.
Yes, then a4 knight is trapped.
So he captured this, rook into c5. Now I was a bit worried about rook b1, rook b8. But I had no issues on returning queen e6 and queen d7. The worst case, even if he gives rook b8 check, I have rook c8. If that doesn't work also, I have knight g8.
Yes.
And h6, king h7. Nothing very disastrous can happen. So he just retorted with rook into d4. Because if rook b1 doesn't work, he is losing on the spot.
Yeah.
If he plays rook b1 and nothing serious happens. So at least he is grabbing the pawn.
Yeah.
And ensuring some counterplay.
So Laxman, when such a position comes on the board, you know you are better. Suddenly thoughts like prize money, finishing top in the tournament, they start coming in your mind. How do you block them? How do you actually focus on the game and the position?
Prize money is not an issue because I was a prolific winner of many open tournaments. Recently I won CCC Orissa tournament and I have been on a high note. So even if this doesn't work out for the present round, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter much for me. And I was playing for the love of the game, and I like to play, so I'm playing. That's all.
Sure.
If I don't get prize money, it doesn't affect me very badly, as long as my game strength doesn't deteriorate.
Okay.
So I just evacuated a square for the king on h7, so that back rank mate issues doesn't come. So he just played rook fd1. Around this point I was slightly unsure of winning because I was pretty scared about the double bishops.
Yeah.
Some nasty mating ideas are in the air for him. So I have to be very careful. I have to treat carefully, otherwise suddenly he will create a mating pattern and I'll be in trouble.
Correct.
So I have to exchange rooks and I have to eliminate one of his bishops. Then I am very close to victory. So I just played rook c3. He was in time pressure, and my habit is that when an opponent is in time pressure, I play fast because I'm used to playing blitz. So I just wasted a move, rook c3. Rook c3 was not required. I should have played rook c4 or something like that. It would have made my victory much easier. So I just played rook c3 out of. Then he played bishop f1. Then I cannot capture. I'm sorry, he played bishop e5, a much stronger move. Now I cannot capture a3. My intention was to capture a3 and put my rook on c1 to exchange of trade off his rooks for mine. But I cannot capture now. Rook d8 check, loses the c3 rook.
Right.
Now I don't know. I have to come back again. I just played rook c6. No, sorry. What did I play? I played king h7. Yeah. This is a very crucial moment of the game.
Yeah.
If I don't evacuate this h6 and king h7, I don't have any plan to win. Now if he moves the rook, supposing he moves it here, my rook will come here. He takes, I take his rook.
Okay.
Without king h7, this is not possible. Okay, let him move, then I will come back.
Right.
Supposing he comes here, even then I am somewhat rook c4, something. Now he played bishop f1. He wanted to bring his other bishop into the game. Now I'll just, I think I just took it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't take, sorry. I played queen e6. If I take this again, I'm in trouble, bishop d3 check. So I have to defend this g6 and knight f6. So as I told you earlier, I became a little bit nervous at this moment.
Yeah,
I have to treat carefully.
It
looks dangerous and I have to treat carefully, otherwise I'll be in trouble. So we just played rook e1. Now my confidence level was slightly on the higher ebb. because at least I am forcing his rook to move to a square where I am maintaining the pin.
Yeah.
This bishop is under a pin after all, so that's quite something positive about it. Now I cannot play knight d7. I had planned knight d7, later realized rook d7 and bishop c3. So what to do? I have to return back. This nasty threat of rook d6 forces me to return back with this. Now slowly his position began to deteriorate. He played, I think he played rook e3, yeah. I think he played bishop d3 check, g6 and rook e3. He wants to evacuate the pin.
Yeah.
And he has given quite a prolonged and tenacious resistance. So I have to rook c1 check, king g2. At least I got the first rank for myself. Then I played rook nd5. He is not able to pin because I will take. So he just played rook e2, queen c6. Okay, any lower rated player would have given up much earlier, but because he is a 2600 GM, he has put in a lot of tenacious resistance, and it was quite difficult for me to convert. So queen c6, queen c6, bishop e4, yeah. Now this knight seems to be lost, but I had this queen b5 sortie to save this knight from being
You had
captured.
to be very, very tricky.
Very tricky, yes.
Yeah.
If he takes the knight, I take his rook.
Sure.
Now he played rook d3. Now at this moment I felt a lot confident, because as you can see, his pieces lack harmony.
Correct.
One bishop after another, one rook behind the other. Rooks are best placed only when they are connected. When they are having a diagonal relationship, rooks are at least they are toothless.
Yeah.
So rook d3. Now I played queen c4. At least I am advancing in his camp, into his camp.
Yeah.
He cannot take still. He is losing one of his rooks.
I just saw something. Is rook d1 working there instead of queen?
No,
c6?
I was I originally intended to play rook d1,
but maybe rook b2.
rook b2.
Yeah, this is the problem.
So I was not very
Sure.
So I had to play. I knew I had to advance slowly. If I hurry, then it's he will escape from the time pressure, and he might get an equal position and it will be drawn.
Yeah.
I had to play slowly. Queen c4. Then what did he play? Actually, this position is completely winning for black. No point in analyzing further, because knight c3 is threatened. I'm going to take one of his rooks and bishops.
Yeah.
Actually, after this, it's no point in analyzing. Actually, black is already. I think black is completely winning now.
Correct. Well, Laxman, thank you for showing us such a detailed analysis. Everyone here, as well as viewers back home, will get an insight into how a GM thinks. I think you played a wonderful game, especially this move bishop f4. I think yeah, bishop f4.
Bishop f4 is easy to miss.
And in the game with Siva Mahadevan, you played bishop e5, which is again putting a bishop on pre. So you are in top form here.
Yes. Judging by the way it goes, recently I am in top form. I have won Orissa International Tournament, Orissa Rating Tournament, and National Rapid I have finished third. National Blitz I have come runner up. I had a decent tournament in Orissa, and I had a good national team championship. I am doing well right moment.
Well, we would like to see you continue in Goa. Okay. So good luck for that. And
okay, thank you very much.
Thank
nice
you so much.
Pleasure talking.